I mean, to see our student body rush down and fill the bottom part of the section, the remainder of our crowd to be amped up for the final minute of play, like that's the takeaway. And I know for some guys, for some people, the story is what happened. And you know, our administration has obviously made it clear that that's not the stance and what we want from the volunteer spirit. You know that I feel the same way. Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
It was very casual. We were just kind of walking off the field, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna come back next year." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go to Atlanta." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's make it happen."
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Win with honor, win with class, win with pride, and win with modesty.
I came to Tennessee by choice, and I certainly did not make a mistake when I came to Tennessee.
It is no good. Tennessee beats Notre Dame 35.
It's a great state, made up of a wide variety of people, from east to the middle to the west.
Tennessee beats Alabama 35-28. Pandemonium reigns. The goalposts are history.
I have never regretted becoming a Tennessee volunteer. I look back and nothing will ever replace my early experiences from the first day I came on the campus, which I'll never forget.
I think that the future here, potential, is unlimited. I think it can be better or I wouldn't be here. I also not only believe in selling football, but I believe in selling the University of Tennessee.
Repeat our game match. Number 1. We make mistakes win. Number 2. Play hard, make plays. One comes our way, score. 3. The first game break bullies, coming up with almost team. 4. They got to keep that first and I keep that ball game. 5. Husky. Ball. Cover. Cut the size on offense. Pursue and tackle on defense. This is the winning end. 6. First team can't get with the breaks made. 7. Everybody keep it there for 6 minutes. Attack. Always attack.
There out on the field, the pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm VAWLS JP. What's up, everybody?
There is no way you just watched that and the hair on your arms didn't stand up and you get a little fire in your eyes. It's Johnny Majors week. I think last year for this game, we as a fan base kind of celebrated that, but we're really not celebrating it this week. But it is Johnny Majors week. What'd that opening video do to you? Did it give you a little fire in your eyes?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Brought back some good old memories of Coach Majors for sure. And, hey, Pitt got their victory last year. There's no way that Tennessee can't go 0-2 in the Johnny Majors Classic. Tennessee's going to get it done Saturday, boys.
You're a little bit older than me, but not a whole lot older than me. And like my generation, Phil Fulmer was our guy. But there are a lot of people that are just a little bit older than me, and Johnny Majors was their guy, and they absolutely hate Phil Fulmer. Like, where do you fall in line with that? Like Johnny Majors' first coach you ever saw on the sideline, but did you really care that it was Johnny Majors? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, younger, 10, 11 years old when Majors was kind of coaching, maybe a little bit younger than that and stuff. I can always remember, losing those games 9-6 and 6-3 and playing for ties and so forth like that. But You know, it took several years for Majors to get that program turned around. I think he came down there in '77 after they won the national championship in '76 up Pitt. And I mean, it was '85, I guess, was really they went to the Sugar Bowl and beat Miami, and then they kind of had a couple of more down years after that. But I'm telling you what, the '89, '90, '91 teams were some of the most talented teams that Tennessee football has ever had. Absolutely stacked and loaded with talent. Majors got on that train where he was getting those JUCO kids, and you know that's when that you had more JUCO kids, it seemed like, and a lot of those players ended up being absolute studs, and he was good at signing those guys. But yeah, Johnny Majors, he's a true Tennessee legend for sure.
I was 4 years old when they went to that Sugar Bowl, JP. 4 years old, so I
remember
exactly
watching
remember
it.
And
he was watching it.
He was the coach, you know, when I first started watching Tennessee, but I didn't really care. You know what I mean? It didn't impact me like it does today, where I lose sleep and I'm pissed off for 3-4 days after a loss. Let's run down the chat. Let's go ahead.
Probably one of my greatest Majors memories has to be the Miracle in South Bend in '91. You know, that was just an absolute tremendous football game. I can remember just like it was yesterday, laying there on the floor watching that football game, and Tennessee coming back from 31-7. I mean, just an absolute tremendous second half. So, and I can remember Majors. You know, he'd always wear that suit and tie and that old brown ugly jacket, you know. So I mean, you know, it was totally different then, you know, 30 plus years ago or whatever. I mean, it was totally different. And but yeah, Majors really you know, set the foundation really for what Fulmer did there in the '90s for sure.
I love the fact that Josh Heupel wore that old ugly brown coat during the Vol Walk last year. I thought that was a nice touch. Let's run down the chat. See who's hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. Before we get going, guys, do us a favor. You know what to do by now. It's early. We're 7 minutes in. Smash the thumbs up and share it out. Put it on Twitter. Retweet the tweet that we're live. Share it on Facebook. Let somebody know that we're live. We would greatly appreciate it. Will Murley in the house predicting Tennessee wins 41-28. DS 4570 is here. Says, "What's up, my Vol family?" Mohammed Fayed in the chat. Hadn't seen your name in a while, buddy. Good to see you back in the chat with the GBO. John Hill dropping that super chat. Must be why. Is that your alternate name? You got 2 YouTube accounts. Is that what it is? Your show. I got it. No, because if that was your alt account, you'd say something about how awesome JP was. John Hill for 20. Maybe this is your alt account. Says, tell us some gospel. JP, break it down for us. Let's go Big Orange. Yeah, I knew you guys would be excited about having JP back in the house tonight. Look, that's the fun thing about having a rotating chair, because I know you guys get sick and tired of me running my mouth, so let's get JP on. Let's get Dauber on, Xavier. Let's rotate some guys around and have a good time with it. Backwoods is in the house. What is up, Backwoods? Let me run down the chat here. Crazy Nugs is here hanging out. What's up, Crazy Nugs? Robert Tuck is in the house. What's up? Robert Tyler is here. What's up, Tyler? Donovan dropping a $2 super chat. Glad JP is here. The key to this game is BY. Yeah, we're going to get into this defensive line because there was some text messages sent my way during the game, and since then JP's kind of backpedaled. We'll get into it, talk about it. Fallout Zone in the chat says, my grandpa hates Fulmer. Yes, there are so many people that hate everything that went down with Johnny Majors, Phil Fulmer. Billy H in the house with a $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Took me back to 1989, the year I became a Vols fan. I told JP right before we went live, I said, I'm going to play a little intro clip, and it doesn't make the hair on your arm stand up. You're not a Vol. Jimmy Campbell for 10. Thank you for the super chat. Doesn't say anything. Just walks up, drops a 10 on the table, and leaves. Appreciate that tip in the old tip jar. Guys, come on in. Smash that thumbs up. Crack open a beer. And let's talk a little Tennessee football. We're going to go through a little recap of the Ball State game because JP wasn't on for the post-game show. We're going to talk a little bit about the PFF grades, Pro Football Focus. We're going to talk about their grades for the game in that Ball State game. We may hear from Tim Banks, and we may also kind of jump into this Pitt game and preview it as well. Let's talk about the Ball State game. JP, you sent me a text message in the middle of the game. I've warned a lot of people that don't know that you are a bit emotional on game day. Sometimes after the fact, you calm down a little bit. After you had a chance to rewatch it, formulate your thoughts, opinions. What are your thoughts overall? Let's start with the line of scrimmage because that's what we were texting about.
Yeah, I mean, after going back and watching it, I went back and watched the first half. I never made it back through the second half, but really took my time watching the first half, and I would look at plays that turned out well, and I'll also watch the plays over and over a couple of times, the plays that didn't turn out well. As far as defense goes, I mean, I know all the people, you Boogie, media, everybody's been talking about it this week since the game last Thursday. Obviously it was Ball State was very, very set on getting the throw off quick. Certainly limited the opportunities that Tennessee had to get pressure and get hits on the quarterback. But going back and watching it, I did see some of the linemen get through there, make some pressures. I thought that there were several times that Tyler Barron actually showed up and got some pressure. Of course, Beasley was in there on that very first play that caused the quick throw for the INT. I thought Byron Young got in there a couple of times. Thought Omari Thomas and Elijah Simmons, Terry, all of those guys, that they flash. Now again, yes, Boogie, I was concerned watching it live because I'm like, Ball State, we can't even touch the quarterback. I still think that there was opportunities. Obviously, there was a few plays that Ball State, took more than the 2 seconds that they were trying to get that ball out. And I still feel like that there should have been some just one-on-one matchups that Tennessee should have won there. But all in all, I think that we're going to see obviously a different game plan this week from what that they played against last week, and we'll get into that later. But I'm not as concerned as I was just watching that game live because I'll be honest, when you don't really touch the quarterback at Ball State, that certainly gives you pause for sure.
Yeah, and you're watching it live, and you want to get home. You want to see that sack, and like you said, the defense was very basic. But even when you look at, I think it was Hubs that put out an article at VolQuest talking about when they did get pressure. I think only one hit on the quarterback came from the defensive line. Every other hit, you mentioned Beasley getting the pressure that led to the interception. Every other hit, every other pressure came from the linebacker position. So even though we say it was very vanilla, it was very basic and kind of dumbed down, the linebackers were still the ones that were getting pressure and putting hits on the quarterback. And we're going to talk about, like you said, we'll talk about the Pitt game coming up in just a little bit. But that's where we're really going to learn what this defensive line is made of. And the popular thing to say right now, and sometimes as ball fans, we look for excuses, right, when things don't go our way. And so many times, I bring up all the time the ETSU game, when you came on here after the game and said, it's a major concern that we're not pushing ETSU around. And there's a difference between voicing a concern and saying, well, this is ridiculous. We got to fire Tim Banks. We got to fire Rodney Garner. Let's not be stupid. But the popular thing to make an excuse for this is, well, Alabama didn't have a sack. That's what I keep seeing in the comments. That's what I keep seeing on social media. Alabama didn't have a sack in their opener. Boogie, what do you think about that? Well, what I think about that is history tells us that Alabama's defensive line, JP, is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
History also tells us that Tennessee's defensive line is probably going to be a question mark. And I love Rodney Garner. I think he's the best in the business. I think he's going to get more with less. And we can talk about Joshua Josephs and what he has the potential to do. And even James Pierce, a guy that really not getting a lot of talk now, got a lot of hype coming in after he signed the papers. And I'm still excited about his future. But you're talking about 2 true freshmen. And then you can go into recruiting now and, Shandavion Bradley and Herring. And that's what this team needs. Are you buying or selling the excuses that Alabama didn't have a sack?
I mean, again, going back and seeing how quick that Ball State was getting rid of the football, certainly, if they were standing back there and doing, 5-step drop backs and, their quarterback was sitting back there for 5 seconds and they were running, route trees that took a long time to develop and so forth. And if we weren't able to get pressure, certainly. But again, like I said, I mean, I would have liked to seen Byron Young just go one-on-one against their tackle and just overpower him, or beat him off the edge with speed. The same thing for Tyler Barron, or I'd like to seen Omari Thomas just get in quickly against one of the interior linemen, the guards and the centers. Yes, I mean that would have been nice to see, but again, we didn't do any kind of stunts really, the running, twisting, those types of things like that. And I don't know. I think that Ball State had several experienced linemen, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I mean, it's not an excuse there. It is a concern because we struggled with it last year. And there's really, outside of those freshmen that you mentioned, there's not anybody new that's on that defensive line. I mean, it's the same guys that we had last year that struggled, and our hope is that they have improved. It's just it's still an unknown because after game one against an inferior opponent, we didn't get any sacks.
And again, the ongoing theme in the chat that I'm seeing right now is pretty spot on. We're going to know more Saturday. Let me hit this super chat real quick, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Daniel Gregory for 5, thank you for the super chat. Can't wait for the game. It's time to win a game against a ranked team. And my prediction is Brew McCoy and Cedric Tillman go over 100. Yeah, I think both those guys have a big day. We'll talk about that once we kind of get into the Pitt preview. But just to kind of continue with this theme of talking about the defensive line, Uncle Lou in the chat. What's up, Uncle Lou? Good to see you, buddy. Looking forward to confirmed with Uncle Lou last night. He's going to be coming on the show the week of the Georgia game. That should be exciting. Should be a lot of fun. Look forward to having him on, breaking things down with him. The dude knows football. Whether you love him, hate him, that's what you want. If people don't care, you're not doing your job. If they love you or hate you, you're doing your job well. Look forward to hanging out with Uncle Lou.
You get all kinds of negative comments. That's almost better than the positive comments, Boogie.
Does it? Gives you something to work on, right?
Yeah.
Or something to ignore. Let's looking ahead to Pitt, again, that's what we're going to find out. If Tennessee comes out of that Pitt game and doesn't have a sack or doesn't get Slovis to the ground, you guys are going to be irate with me after the game because I'm going to bring it up over and over and over, and it's going to be a concern once you get into SEC play because you look at that Pitt-West Virginia game, West Virginia sacked Slovis 5 times. That defensive unit also held Pitt to 76 rushing yards. And I think
38 attempts.
I think this Tennessee defense is way better against the run than they are the pass just as a whole. But if Tennessee doesn't get home, Slovis doesn't have the athleticism of Pickett. I've talked over and over and over. I've talked it to death all week. I feel like I've been live every freaking day, all day. But I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. But I've said this multiple times. The key to that game is pressuring. Get pressure on Slovis. He's going to make mistakes. But how concerned are you going to be if they come out of that Pitt game and still can't get Slovis to the ground?
I mean, obviously, but at the end of the day, my main concern right now is the Tennessee win on the scoreboard Saturday. I will worry about the issues with not being able to get Slovis down. If that ends up happening, but yeah, I mean that would be serious concern because obviously, I went back and watched some of those highlights from that game. And I mean, he had a couple of runs there for first downs, that he scrambled and stuff, but certainly nothing like we had last year, trying to contain Pickett. And I don't think they're going to call any kind of design runs with Slovis. And like you said, I mean, West Virginia got 5 sacks on him. So, I'm telling you, I think that we're going to see a defense similar to we saw last year, in that Missouri game and in that South Carolina game. I think that Tennessee obviously is a lot fresher right now. Naturally, I think that they would be better. And but yeah, I don't know. These, I saw some comments on some of these players that they talked to yesterday. I think it was, or maybe Monday. I think that these kids are going into this game feeling that this is their opportunity. I think that they feel like that they let one slip away last year down there, in Knoxville, and I think that this team is going up there with the mindset that they know what it's going to take to win. I'm really excited about Saturday. I think that this team has an opportunity to come out Saturday and make a statement. But again, that 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 battered ball syndrome that we've all got. I mean, how many times in the last 12 to 15 years has this program had the opportunity like they have this Saturday to finally make a statement and to say, Tennessee is back on the right track, and they, it's not happened often, unfortunately. But I think that this team's different, Boogie.
I hope so. Tennessee also going into the game favored by almost a touchdown. Josh Pate put out his prediction. Must have been on the Late Kick show last night. I saw the video format of it today, and he's picking Tennessee not only to win but also to cover. I just like Tennessee in this game. I've said it all offseason. I said it last night. I'll continue to say it until Saturday at 3:30. I just like the way Tennessee matches up with Pitt on the field. You don't just magically replace a guy like Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison. You don't replace that production, and people want to put me on blast and say, well, what about the 98 Vols? That comes at me in the chat and says, what about the 98 Vols? Huh? What about them and Peyton Manning? And I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Like, let's use some context here. Let's think about things. If you're Pitt, you don't replace a guy like Kenny Pickett. You don't replace a guy like Jordan Addison. If you're Alabama or Georgia, like look at Georgia, and hopefully Lou's gone and he doesn't get all excited about this, but everybody said, oh, Georgia's going to be rebuilding this year. They lost so much talent. They lost, 8 starters on defense, and was it 5 of them? I'm spitballing here. Was it 5 of them that went in the first round?
Oh, yeah.
They just they plug and play. Just plug and play, then they go out and beat the brakes off of Oregon. And it's like, yeah, if you're Georgia, if you're Alabama, you can do that. If you're Pitt, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time replacing Kenny Pickett. We got almost 250 people watching live right now on this Wednesday night. Appreciate you guys being here with us.
Which I know. Go ahead, Boogie. Sorry.
I was just going to say, smash that thumbs up, share it out, blast this thing out, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, social media. Let's grow this chat. Let's get it up over 300. How about that? I'm putting it on you guys. You guys have the keys to the car. So share it out on Twitter, Facebook, social media. It takes 2 seconds. Just hit the share button down below. We would greatly appreciate it. Go ahead, JP. What were you going to say there?
I mean, I know that last year's game really doesn't mean anything because obviously it's a whole new season. It's a whole different team. There's different players and stuff. But when you really look at it and you look at these two teams that are going to be going against each other Saturday, Pitt lost a lot more than what Tennessee lost. Yes, I know that we lost Velvis Jones and Peyton, but and Taylor, they're on the defense, but I just feel like that, and we have to also take into consideration last year against Pitt, we didn't have Cade Mays because he had got hurt the prior week. I think, or excuse me, Cooper Mays. Cade got hurt
in the game, right?
On a freaking play that the refs blew dead to look at a replay. That's when he rolled his ankle. Small got hurt that right there at the end of the half. And then Milton started that football game, and Hooker came in after Milton got hurt, and of course Milton had overthrown probably three touchdowns already by that point. But if you take any of that into consideration, it does give me confidence that I think that Tennessee is the much better football team. I think that even though that Pitt has played Josh Heupel's teams, I think this is the 5th year or the fifth game in the last 6 or 7 years that Pitt's played a Heupel team. I know that they've have that knowledge and they understand, but I still feel like that it takes a while for these defenses to truly adjust to the speed that Tennessee runs that offense. And there's going to be opportunities there Saturday for Tennessee to make big plays because that's just the way that Pitt plays defense. And I just feel confident. I mean, I hope that I'm not wrong, and I hope I'm not sitting here Saturday night all mad and just absolutely disgruntled over the performance. But Tennessee has a great opportunity Saturday to get this done and to beat I'll be saying, hey, we beat the ACC champions. I mean, you know, I'll be saying it then. I'll be saying it.
We'll take what we can get, right?
That's
We'll
right.
take whatever
That's
we
right.
can get. Take what we can get. I mean, look, Pitt returns a lot on defense. They return a lot on defense. I just don't think their offense can keep up in a shootout. We'll talk a little bit more about Pitt coming up here in just a moment. Again, JP wasn't on the post-game show after the Ball State game, so I want to continue to get some thoughts from him on that. We're going to pull up the Pro Football Focus grades for Tennessee Ball State from last Thursday. Now, if you're not familiar with PFF, and I'm really disappointed because I think it was this morning actually that Eric Kane kind of went through these two. But this is something that I did a lot last year. Took a look at these grades. If you're not familiar with Pro Football Focus, they kind of look at the overall play. And one thing that I really like about it is that, like the wide receiver position, for instance, when you're watching on TV, you can't see if the wide receivers are getting separation. You can't see what happens with their routes. You just cannot see that on TV unless somebody's sending you the game film. You really don't know what's going on downfield. Plus, we talked about it. We watch the games usually 2 to 3 times before it's all said and done. But even still, it's hard unless you're doing it for a career and you're sitting down and you're rewinding, playing, rewinding, play, rewind, play. It's hard to track and watch every single position on the football field. And Pro Football Focus kind of goes through and gives a grade to each one of the players. You can see here each game graded on a scale of 1 to 100. 90 to 100 is elite, 85 to 89 all conference, 70 to 84 starter quality, 60 to 69 backup. Everything under 60 is replaceable. So JP, right out of the gate, when you talk about that Ball State game, we've already talked about the defensive line. Who stood out to you? Who really looked the part? Who passed the eye test for you on that Ball State game?
I thought both of the running backs, Wright and Small, I thought that they both ran very, very well, hard. I was actually pretty pleased from what I thought with Darnell Wright. I know that he didn't grade out as high on that Pro Football Focus, but I think some of those grades they don't make sense at all. But I was pleasantly surprised to see Gerald Mincy that high. I think that obviously that he's going to have a much difficult challenge this week, and we're certainly going to get a better idea of it. But I hope that maybe that performance Thursday against Ball State at least gives him some confidence, going into this game against Pitt with that. But overall, I thought Hooker. I'll say it. I thought Hooker was okay. I mean, I know he had decent stats, but a few of his throws were high that didn't allow the wide receiver to make those plays, and he got away with a couple of throws there too. I think both of them were to Brew McCoy as well, and I don't know if that was Hooker's fault really, or if it might have been something that Brew McCoy did. I know that one that I'm pretty sure that down there close to the end zone that Brew McCoy ended up catching. I'm pretty sure that's the one. He had Jalen Hyatt wide open. He could have just absolutely walked in the end zone, and I think that he just missed him with that. So, again, I think Hooker will come out Saturday and play much better. I think when he probably went back and watched the tape, I don't think that he would probably be satisfied with that. But he. Like they talked about, like we've heard all the pundits talk about and the media talk about, obviously that they were playing back. They were usually only rushing 3 and dropping 8. But I thought that it was nice of Hooker that he didn't take any unnecessary chances, that he took what the defense gave him, and obviously, heck, we scored 59 points. I mean, we've talked about it for years on here, Boogie. How many times have we been in games like this and just, I mean, there's only so many 24-0 victories against North Texas that a Tennessee fan should have to watch. So I mean, it's great to come out, take care of business. 38 points in the first half. So I mean, at the end of the day, you can't really complain.
And that's why it comes back to in the post-game show, people weren't happy with some of the negativity. It's not negativity, it's nitpicking. Because like you said, to come out and it's over at halftime, it's 38-0. They played a lot of young kids. They kept it dumbed down, very basic. That's a win in itself. And, Pitt was in a dogfight, and there's a lot of game film from that Pitt-West Virginia game that Tennessee and this coaching staff is going to be able to look at. And you talked about how many times Josh Heupel has competed against this Pitt team over the last few years. Hendon Hooker has played. Pat Narduzzi actually in his press conference said, we played against Hendon Hooker for the last 12 years straight.
12 years, yeah.
These teams are familiar with each other, but every team, it's a new season. It's new life, new blood, and Pitt put a lot on tape. Look, they've got a new offensive coordinator, I believe, and a new quarterback. There's a lot to look at there on tape. Thank you to Mountain Man 89 becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. I'm still on this membership drive, trying to get as many members as we can in here. It helps the channel. We appreciate the support. You're basically saying, here's a little financial contribution every month. I enjoy the content. I enjoy the videos, everything that you guys do. We appreciate that. You also get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. As you can see, most of the time in the chat, I am highlighting members' comments. You have more of a voice on this channel. You also have access to the fan call-in shows. So everybody that was a part of that, I'll tell you guys what, I couldn't go to sleep last night. I was so amped up and excited after that fan call-in show. There are so many people on this channel that know more about football than I know. They just don't know as much about YouTube as I know, or they would be on here with their own channel and just put me out of business. So many guys that came on last night, man, had an absolute blast with. I see Moose in the chat. He wasn't on here last night. He's a guy that contributes a lot. But just, man, what an absolute blast. James Moody, it was good to have him on the channel. John Hill, Matt Begley, so many great guys that know what they're talking about. It was fun to have him on the show. James Moody, speak of the devil, James Moody drops a $20 super chat. Appreciate that. James says, I feel this staff has something to prove after the talk by Pitt's coach, and 2 touchdowns or more will be the statement that needs to be sent. However, the Gators are truly my only must-win this year, not only for revenge, but also for recruiting. What do you think about that, JP? Because as we head into this, I'm gonna take the PFF grades. We'll just talk. Let's just talk. How about we just talk about it? Is this game on Saturday a must-win? On the road against Pitt, revenge type game, top 25 matchup. For me, I talked a lot about in the offseason that if you want to get to 8 or 9 wins, this Pitt game is crucial in doing that, and so is Florida. But you got to get through Pitt. I don't always like the term must win, but it sure feels like this is a dang important football game on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know about must win, obviously, because obviously, it's a non-conference game. So at the end of the day, it doesn't have any implications whatsoever as far as the SEC goes and the SEC East. So I wouldn't say must win, but it is for this program. It is absolutely a huge opportunity to win this football game and again make a statement and pretty much start getting that feeling that this program and Josh Heupel is turning this program around and there is some good things in the horizon. Just think about what could happen if Tennessee wins this football game Saturday. Then chances are, the following week against Akron, they are going to host Florida in 2 weeks inside Neyland Stadium, undefeated, probably ranked, top 15, probably something like that, close to it, maybe. And then who knows? Florida's got Kentucky. I fully expect Florida to win that game this week. 2 undefeated teams, Florida be ranked in the top 10. Just for the Boogie, it's not that this is a must win, but for the program in an essence, it's so important. That's why that's all I've thought about. I'll just be honest with you, since that game ended Thursday night and watching the Pitt game and the full attention is like, okay, this is the opportunity again. And like I said earlier, there's been several opportunities like this over the last 12 to 15 years, and this program has just they haven't been able to get over the hump, and I want this to happen so bad. I mean, I think that we all do. I mean,
so let me say something here.
We
let me
all
say
want
something.
this to happen so bad.
You're laying out step by step why this is a must-win game. And every single one of us in the chat, in this box, in this window, in this fan base are too freaking scared to come out and say that this is a must-win game because we have been disappointed time after time after time. This is a must-win game. You came on here when Jeremy Pruitt lost to Georgia State and said, Jeremy Pruitt will never succeed at Tennessee. And I'm not going out on the limb to say that. There's a big difference between Georgia State and Pitt on Saturday. But if Josh Heupel goes out and loses this game, it's a big, huge red flag as to whether or not he's going to be able to get it done. That's how important this game is. And while you're laying it out step by step, you're backpedaling because you're so damn terrified that he's not going to get it done. It's must win. It's must win.
It's just that it just makes it that much difficult because at some point in time, we have to win these types of games. I mean, at some point in time, yes, beating South Carolina last year like a drum, beating Missouri last year like a drum was good. Beating Kentucky last year, all of that is great. And I think Tennessee overachieved at times last year, certainly with that. But I mean, you've got to start winning these types of football games.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, I know Pitt plays in a crap conference, and I know, all that, but they're still a top 25 football team. I don't know if they're 17th best or whatever that they're ranked, but they're still they've got players. They've got a coach that's been up there for several years. He's got experience. He's got that program at least to where that there's not turnover and turmoil and all of that kind of stuff. And that's where that we need to get to. But still, this all comes back to be able to recruit. You have got to have the players in here to be able to take this to the next level. And you've got to start beating people like Pitt.
And that's why it's so important, because if you go out and you lose to Pitt on Saturday, that Florida game in Neyland Stadium, yeah, we're still going to be up for it. It's still going to be a good atmosphere. It's not as big. But if Tennessee goes out and takes care of business, and they're going to jump a little bit in the rankings, and yeah, do rankings matter? Yes, no, it doesn't really matter. Florida goes out and takes care of business against Kentucky. All of a sudden, that Tennessee-Kentucky game starts to sneak its way into the spotlight, and the national media starts talking about it. And you can say whether that matters or not, but when you talk about recruiting, a lot of these high school kids, they don't see Tennessee as a nationally relevant program. But when you start winning games like Pitt on Saturday, and then Florida comes to town in a couple of weeks, and if it's a night game and you checker Neyland and you go dark mode or
madness.
You go smoky gray, they're going to do some type of gimmick for that game. They are. They're going to do some type of gimmick. It's going to be in the national spotlight. That's why Saturday against Pitt on the road is a freaking must-win game, and we're all scared to say it. Let me get caught up on Super Chats here. Wayne Starnes in the chat. I love when JP's on because he brings the dang fire out in me.
You owe me that $5, Boogie. Thanks, okay, Wayne.
I'll PayPal it to you. Wayne for $5 says, good to see you on, JP. Go Vols. The chat loves that JP is back in the house. I'm glad you're back, too. Dauber's glad you're back. It's going to be a fun season. Glad Snake's back in the house. Xavier contributing. I sent Matt Begley a message today. We're going to get Matt on. Matt brought some fire to the channel last night. James Moody like I said, so many guys came on last night. John was great. We're going to rotate some guys on here and have some fun. Mountain Man 89 for $5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, let's get it done Saturday, Vols. Yeah, let's go take care of business on Saturday, and then we'll shift the focus. We'll skip right over Akron, and we'll act like they don't exist, and we'll shift that focus immediately to Florida. Chaos Ailey with a $5 super chat. No comment, no statement. Just says, here's a $5 tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that. I was going to say, do you feel like you deserve that one as well? I just assumed. I'll PayPal you that one too. Tyler Pollock becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Little old tip in the tip jar every single month. We thank you for that. Thank you, Tyler. You got those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Guys, show them what is one. Drop them in the chat. Access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun stuff. And like I said, I do my best to include you guys and highlight your comments throughout the stream. But I try to highlight everybody's. If I see something good, I'll click on it as well. But we appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you for that contribution. We're up to 300 viewers. That was the target. That was the goal. I wanted to get this thing up to 300. I'm glad you guys shared this thing out, but keep sharing it out. Let's get up to 400 now. 300 is not good enough. I moved the goalpost. That's what I do around here. Let's see if we can get that chat to 400. If you're coming into the chat right now, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here with us on this Wednesday show. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network and you don't know what this is, who are these two idiots talking about Tennessee football? For the fans, by the fans. We're regular dudes. We're fans just like you guys. We just get on, hang out, crack a beer, pull up a chair, and let's talk Tennessee football. We're not going to talk down to you. We're not going to talk at you. We're going to talk with you. That's what makes this channel different and unique. It is truly for the fans, by the fans. So make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications, all that good stuff. We go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We go live every single Saturday for a post-game show. We go live on Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m., play a little NCAA football and talk Tennessee sports as well. And then every Tuesday night, late night Talkin VAWLS, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we have a fan call-in show. That's where you guys get to come on and hijack the show. So make sure you subscribe, click that bell, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Xavier, part of this channel, Xavier earned his way onto the show from the fan call-in show, but he's still dropping a $10 super chat. Says, I asked this question last night, but I want JP's take. And I'm assuming that means you get this one too, JP?
That's right, yeah.
That's what I thought. Devil's advocate, if we lose to Pitt but beat Florida, how do you feel about us then?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a letdown Saturday if we lose to Pitt, but, you know, this team would have the opportunity in 2 weeks' time to right the ship. That's why that I'm not to the point saying that it's an absolute must win, because again, it doesn't have any implications as far as the SEC race goes. And I know people are saying, well, there's no way Tennessee's going to be in the East, but until they're out of it, I'm going to have hope. So with that, that's how that I see that, Xavier, is for the overall program, and to take steps Saturday is absolutely huge. But Tennessee would have the opportunity, should they lose to Pitt Saturday, that they could certainly have the opportunity that they could recover some of that should they end up beating Florida. I think then that would make that that game 2 weeks after that at LSU much more important if they were to lose against Pitt, because you know the whole thing is you know, I think most fans have said, you know, 8-4, but there's opportunities there. Whenever that you look at this team and you look at this offense and you look at some of the senior leadership that this team has, and you have a really great quarterback, that's so important. You've got to take advantage of that. Tennessee has to take advantage of having a 6-year quarterback in Hendon Hooker who had an exceptional year. You got to take advantage of having a really good offensive lineman, Darnell Wright. You've got to take advantage of all of these returning players that have experience. And yes, I know that the defense struggled last year, but you know the hope is that they're going to get better. You have to use that to your advantage this year to grow this program. Saturday's game is much more, in my opinion, about the 2022 football season. This is about growing this program and getting it to where all of us that are sitting here talking about this, all of us that are spending our Wednesday evening sitting here listening to two dummies like Boogie and I talk about it, we want this game very, very bad, because we want what's best for the Tennessee football program, and we want to see this program continue to rise up, because we're tired of being a dormant. And I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm, you know, again, I know, I don't know if I've been on here a lot, and I know I haven't been on here much, you know, over the last year or so, but, you know, 2020 2020 done this old boy in.
It broke you. It broke you.
It did. I mean, last summer, I bet you I couldn't have told you anything about Tennessee's football team last summer. I just didn't care, I mean, I had just lost it. And, I can tell you what, though, if Tennessee loses Saturday, I'm going to have that feeling again where it's going to hurt.
It's doubt. It's a red flag. It is a big red flag. It's funny. It's weird that you said that 2020 broke you and you just stepped away because it's weird because some people have messaged me and tweeted at me and told me that we hated each other and we had a big fight and falling out. And it's like weird. Nobody told me that we had a falling out. That's interesting.
I just got tired of talking about crappy football.
It's just funny. You don't always know what goes on.
Nobody better not say that I'm a fair weather fan because I've stuck through this football team for thick and thin, and I'll sit down and I'll watch every single game, but after a while it just gets numb, and I hate that. I mean I hated that feeling. I mean, I hated to have that feeling to where that you go into a football game and there's not, and with the shadow of a doubt that there's no chance to even win. And I hate that feeling, and I've hated that feeling. And I feel like that, Heupel's getting us at least to where that we're somewhat competitive, but we got to take care of business Saturday, fellas.
That's what was so good about the Missouri game. And the South Carolina game was just going out and dominating, and even Ball State, going out and dominating the teams that you're supposed to beat. Speaking of two dummies, I take offense to this Double T Sports. Two moonshine country as hillbillies from Knoxville. I'm not from Knoxville. How dare you accuse me of being from Knoxville? How dare you? Everything else you say is accurate. But how dare you, sir? How dare you insult us that way? Evan counts for 10. Thank you for the super chat. Those regular dudes at Talkin VAWLS are making this Vol family stronger and stronger and bringing us closer and closer every day. Y'all are saving Vol Nation one broadcast at a time. Thank you. Like, those comments kind of blow my mind sometimes. Like, I don't know. Because I know you and you know me, and we just know that we're two regular dudes. But I think what makes this place special is I think most of you in the chat understand that we truly value your opinion and see you as equals. I think that is what makes us stand out, and I hope that you guys see that and appreciate that. But Evan, I appreciate that super chat. Let's hit this big one. Harmon JC Vol for $50.
That is mine.
Oh, okay. Wait, does he say your name? No, he never mentions your name, JP.
Harmon JC Vol, come on.
He'll drop another 50 and put JP in there. I hope that's what happens. But look, the deal is, when you drop the 50 spot, you guys already in the chat are saying it. We got to play the clip. We're going to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
$50 super chat. Very, very generous. Very generous. People accuse us of being all about money, so we're going to let you know it is all about money. Everybody has a price. Thank you, Harmon JC Vol. We appreciate it. $50 super chat. Go Big Orange. Let's get it to 400. Big things in store for Saturday. Can't wait for the show after and to see that Pitt troll pay up. Harmon JC Vol, you know that Pitt troll is never coming back on this channel again. He ain't never coming back again. But thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Yeah, listen to Harmon JC Ball. Go share the link. Hit the share button down below. Share it out. Let's get this chat to 4. Okay. Sometimes you got to give away free merchandise, JP. And you know that because you're the king of giving away our profits. I'll tell you guys what. Right now, we got 323 people watching live. If everybody goes down below and hits share, we're going to blow up 400 immediately. It'll happen immediately. We get to 400 people in the chat, I'll give away a free t-shirt. Courtesy of JP. I'll take it out of the $5 super chat that he got.
Exactly. It's what I figured.
But if everybody goes right now and hits that share button down below, and you hit share and it says you can send it to Twitter, Facebook, and then you just hit that, boom, it's done. And then people will flood in. There is strength in the numbers of this 14,000 subscriber fan base. So share it out, or you can go to Twitter, hit retweet, just post it on Facebook, something. Let's get this chat to 400 in the next 30 minutes or so, and we'll give away a free t-shirt and let you guys get in on it. But thank you, Harmon JC Vol, for the super chat and for the little plug. Help us get to 400. We appreciate it. Noah Crago becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. You got access to those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Take advantage. Drop them in the chat. We appreciate that support. MD VAWLS for 20. Another. Is that one yours too, I guess, because he didn't say anything? That's just
That's
yours.
exactly right. Yeah.
That's
Thank
what
you,
I thought. That's
MD
what I thought.
VAWLS.
We'll just send that directly to JP. But we appreciate that $20 super chat. Let's kind of shift the focus to Pitt. Although this is what I love about having you on, JP. You go on these rants and tirades and kind of just change direction, and I just go with it, and it ends up being this great flowing conversation, which I love. Let's go off the script. We're no longer going to talk about Tim Banks. We're no longer going to listen to his press conference. We're just going to keep talking football, and that's what I love about it. Wayne Starnes for 5.
Thank you, Wayne.
Says, here's your 5 more, JP. You guys paying the JP fund. You guys trying to get JP back on here every single Wednesday. Thank you, Wayne, for the super chat. There's a lot of Georgia fans in the chat, which is very interesting because, oh, yeah, look, here comes MD VAWLS. That 20 was for JP, too.
See? There. Told
Yeah.
you.
See, I knew it. I'll just give it all to JP. Why not? Why not? A lot of dog fans in the house tonight, and I think it's probably because old Uncle Lou mentioned us on his live stream. So they're flooding on in. But you're welcome here. You can talk a little trash. Just keep it civil. Don't throw insults. Glad to have you guys on board. Let's continue to talk about this Pitt game coming up on Saturday. Did you watch the Pitt West Virginia game by chance?
Well, honestly, I did turn it over there during the when it was a blowout and started watching during intermittent or commercials and so forth like that when the Tennessee games kind of blow out. But I did go watch a condensed version of it and watched it. I was really surprised that Pitt couldn't run the football any better that they did. Honestly, I was surprised by that, and I was kind of surprised, obviously, that West Virginia had some pretty good runs. I think they rushed for what is the biggie, 180, 190 yards. I think it was like that.
190 yards.
I think that they broke off two pretty good runs with that. So, that might have skewed it somewhat there. But, Pitt gave up five sacks. This game Saturday, and you know where I'm going with this, Boogie. It's going to be one in the trenches. I know that people won't want to sit around and talk about, high-scoring offense, fast-paced offense. It's going to come down to whether Tennessee's offensive line can protect Hooker, if Tennessee can run the football, and then it's going to come down to whether or not that Tennessee can get pressure on the Slovis. That's it. I mean, whoever plays better in the trenches is going to win this football game. I mean, I know that Tennessee goes fast, and people think that they throw it all over the field, but that's not true. Tennessee wants to run the football, and Tennessee needs to be successful running the football in order to have success. First down, especially, is so key with this offense. Tennessee has to be able to pick up yardage on the first down. They have to limit, those negative plays, and obviously it's like any football game. You can't play stupid. You can't have turnovers. You can't have all these, just untimely penalties, all of that stuff like that. But whoever controls the line of scrimmage and gets more push and protects the quarterback, that's who's going to win this football game. I mean, that's the way I feel.
You mentioned turnovers there. Donovan in the chat brought up turnovers too. I think that's going to be a key. And I think, again, you look at Hendon Hooker, what he's done, his history of protecting the football, his touchdown to interception ratio, very, very good. I think he's going to protect the football. We saw, was it Jalen Wright? I think we saw put the football on the ground. Offensive line recovered it, so no damage done there. But you got to protect the football. SMMC becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that support. Go play with those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat. Have some fun with that. Hopefully to see you on some fan call-in shows coming up soon as well. And you talk about the line of scrimmage, JP, and looking at that Pitt-West Virginia game, I think that West Virginia won the line of scrimmage. They had 5 sacks compared to Pitt's defensive line, and we're talking about a defensive line that some people are saying last season was the best defensive line in the country. Whether you want to agree or disagree, whatever, that's another conversation. They only came away with 3 sacks. And then the next thing you look at, when you look at quarterback pressure, all that good stuff, you look at rushing yards. And you mentioned earlier, West Virginia kind of ran all over Pittsburgh, 190 rushing yards. Pitt only had 76 rushing yards. And I think West Virginia beat Pitt in the trenches. And I think it's better that Pitt won that game. We had that debate. We had that debate leading into the game whether or not we wanted Pitt to win or lose. I think it's better for Tennessee that that Pitt came out with the win. But you look at how that game ended down the stretch. And, I was listening to Uncle Lou talk about it, and he talked about, you hit your wide receiver right in the hands, and he drops the football, tip drill.
It was
Pitt
a
goes,
gift.
gets the pick six. The game was gifted away. Pitt escapes. It was a dogfight. They were in a dogfight the entire night. Not only that, they were beat up and banged up. Senior defensive end, Deslin Alexander, beat up, may not play. Their leading rusher and also had the most yards from scrimmage, most total yardage, Rodney Hammond Jr., their running back. Left the game last week. After it was all said and done, he was in a walking boot heading out of the stadium. He led Pitt in rushing, had 16 carries, 74 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Also had 2 catches for 55 yards. Highly likely, he may already be out. I don't think Rodney Hammond plays on Saturday. Alexander, not sure, beat up, banged up. They were in a fight. Tennessee wasn't. They were in cruise control. Everybody's healthy. We got the issues going on with Juwan Mitchell. I don't think that's injury. I think I've had that conversation. It's not worth getting into. But how much do you put into that? The fact that Pitt got beat up on Saturday or Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely so. And there's something going on with this line. Vegas came out at, I think, Tennessee favored by 4.5, and it's up to 6.5 or 7 now. Vegas is smart. So
yeah.
I don't know. I do wonder if there is obviously concerns if a couple of those guys for Pitt will be able to go, or will they be full speed 100% if they are able to actually go with that. I'm not going to worry about that because I don't care. I'm not going to cry if those guys don't play, and if they do, fine. But with that, but I think that it was better that Pitt won that football game. I think that there was a lot of energy that was expelled between them, and I think that there was a lot of energy with that fan base too. I'm not as convinced that they'll be as rowdy Saturday afternoon as they were Thursday night against their neighbors from Morganton, West Virginia, for sure with that. So, but Pitt plays very aggressive defense, and Tennessee's going to have just like that they did last year. There is going to be some great opportunities for Tennessee to hit some big plays, and we should have had it last year in the first quarter, and unfortunately Milton couldn't connect and stuff. And I think that could certainly be the difference in that football game Saturday. I think that I think Pitt will probably play better defensively probably than they did against West Virginia. But I mean, this Tennessee offense is nothing like they played Thursday for sure.
And what Tennessee scored was it 41-34 last year?
Last year, yeah.
Tennessee put up 34 points on a really good defense. I like them to match that or maybe score a little bit more. I just don't think Pitt's offense is anywhere near what they were last year. I don't think it's even close.
I don't think so either. I mean, I'll be extremely disappointed if we go up there Saturday and give up 41 to Pitt. I mean, I'll be extremely disappointed with this defense.
Jack in the chat there says, wait a minute, is that the real Uncle Lou? Yeah, the real Uncle Lou likes to hang out in the chat of Talkin Balls here lately. He's going to be on the week of the Georgia game, so mark it down, put it on your calendar. Lou's going to come on that week, talk a little Tennessee football, give us some inside scoop on Georgia. So I hope you guys circle it on the calendar and look forward to that. Chaos Alley for 2, thank you for the super chat. Says Pitt can't handle a fast pace in the final 2 minutes. I don't know if they're going to be able to handle that fast pace the entire night long. Go Vols 1999 for 50. JP, what do we do when somebody drops a 50 spot?
Give it to me.
I don't see your name in that one.
Go Vols 1999. Come on, buddy.
He's telling you what to do right there at the end. Play the clip. We'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Go Vols 1999 being very, very generous. You guys that drop $50, it just blows my mind. Every single time. I don't even know what to say. We appreciate the support. It says, my first game to Neyland was last year against Pitt. Hopefully we can pull it out this season. Really hope we can stay undefeated going into the Bama game. Taking my wife to her first game. GBO, play the clip. Thank you, Go Vols 1999. We appreciate that. What do you feel about this LSU game after this past week? The way that game ended down the stretch. Not only that, but then Brian Kelly, the things he said in the media. I love the clip where he's fussing at the media for showing up late, and the reporter says, well, if you won, I would show up on time. That program seems like it is burning to the ground, and it's week 1. What were your thoughts going into the season on that Tennessee game? I was worried about it. I was really calling it a loss. I kind of sold it as a toss-up, but it was really Georgia, Alabama, LSU were my 3 losses, and then I think Tennessee loses a toss-up somewhere else down the road. What do you think about LSU going into the year versus now where they're at?
Well, I mean, if Sunday night is any indication, I like Tennessee's chances much, much better. Obviously, LSU's got tons of talent, but they got issues. I think the defense will probably get better as season goes on, but I think it's one of those things like we've struggled with, bad quarterback play and bad offensive line play. I mean, that offensive line was very, very suspect, and that quarterback, he just wasn't any good. I mean, he just really, really struggled, and you could tell. And I mean, it's like any kind of coaching change and stuff like that. I mean, it's difficult to get all of those kids to buy in, and I think that what's his name, that wide receiver at Butte kid or whatever, everybody was talking about preseason All-American and everything. And yeah, I mean, he may end up having that type of season, but it does make you wonder the way that his, just that his overall body language was, and the way that he played that game Saturday or Sunday. It makes you wonder if he didn't have not a lot of confidence in this offense and that quarterback for sure.
Let me hit this other super chat real quick. Then we're going to jump into some predictions here as we get ready to wrap up the show. Robert 45 Tennessee for $30. That ain't cheap either. $30 ain't cheap either. That's about a half a tank of gas, I believe, right now. We appreciate that, Robert 45 Tennessee. Pitt's offense will be super slow. The quarterback will do a 7-second drop. I just don't see it working out for Pitt. I say the game is over by the 3rd quarter. I hope so. And I think that's a bit. I've said it a million times. Getting pressure on Slovis is key. I think he loses it. If you get pressure on him, he's gonna force the ball. He's gonna make mistakes. Had some bad throws in that West Virginia game. Didn't necessarily cost him. I just think pressure is the key to that game. We still got 311 people watching live. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. Got more videos coming your way throughout the week. And then Saturday, we're going to go live an hour before kickoff. 1 hour before kickoff, we're going to go live with the Talkin VAWLS tailgate show. We're going to make that a fan call-in show where you guys, the members of the channel, get an opportunity to come on, hang out, shoot the bull just like last night. It's going to be a great time. So I hope you'll join us for that. We'll take you all the way up to kickoff, and then we'll be live immediately following the game with a matter of moments. Within a matter of moments, we'll be live. Myself, Dauber, and Snake will be here. JP, you going to be on the post game? Still undecided?
No, I won't make it. Nephew's got a football game Saturday evening, so I'm gonna have to go to it.
All good. That's all good. That's. I really like having you on these Wednesday shows, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Like I said, it's a rotating.
You don't want me on after the game. Y'all heard that, right?
Can't even give you a dang compliment live on air without you getting offended. No, it's great, man. I love the format that we have set up right now between the two of us with Snake and with Dauber. It's good. Xavier is always willing to come on. Moose is willing to come on. We're going to keep adding people, and we'll see how it plays out. Sometimes Dauber may not be here. JP may not be here. Snake may not be here. But what's good about it, this was a fun conversation because me and Dauber have had multiple conversations on air, and sometimes we say the same thing. So when JP comes on, I like to just pick his brain and kind of bounce off of what he says. So it's great, man. I love having this rotating cast of characters. But let's do this real quick. You can support the channel. I want you guys to go pick up the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. I'm sure Dakota's still dropping that link in the chat. The link is also in the description below. We got these brand new mustard shirts, and a lot of you guys are posting those in the Facebook group, which I absolutely love, because if you look at the details on that, we got 100% certified guarantee on that mustard bottle. It says 100% for the fans, by the fans. You got that Talkin VAWLS flag flying, go big orange. That looks real familiar to me. I think it's supposed to say something about yellow or something. I don't know. But anyway, you can also see the net weight of that. Uncle Lou will probably like it. The net weight, 19.98 ounces. You can go check out that shirt or any of the old favorites. Again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate the support on that. Also, if you want to get involved in the NIL game, look, that's the way to recruit in 2022, and there are strength in numbers. I play the numbers game when it comes to membership. 14,000 subscribers. If everybody becomes a member of this channel for 99 cents a month, guess what? We're making 14 grand a month. That's how there is strength in numbers. There's also strength in numbers when it comes to NIL, JP. We have the biggest, most passionate fan base in the country. You want to get in the NIL game. You want to support Spire Sports Group. We are an official affiliate. I've had some great conversations with those guys, and let me let you know, they're doing the Lord's work. They are doing the Lord's work. They understand what it takes to compete in college football, what the priorities are. Positions like offensive tackle, positions like quarterback, trusting the wide receiver position in this Josh Heupel offense. They understand recruiting. You can get in where you fit in. Dakota's got the link there, or you can click it in the description below. They'll kick a few bucks our way, but 90% of all money raised goes directly to the student athletes. But any and all support greatly appreciated, whether that's through memberships, whether it's through super chats, whether it's through merchandise or NIL. We just appreciate you guys being here. JP, let's wrap this thing up. Let's jump into our official predictions for Tennessee and Pitt this Saturday at 3:30. I'll let you go first. Give me a little rundown, and then give me a prediction. Give me your score prediction.
Well, I started out with the chat this thing saying that I think Tennessee goes to Pitt this week and gets the job done. I just feel like that, these things that we've talked about. I just like this football team. I like this matchup. It's going to come down to whether or not this Tennessee offensive line can hold up. But I think that they can. I think that they will make some plays. I think there'll be some splash plays. I don't think Pitt is near as good as they were offensively. I think that there's going to be some injury concerns with Pitt. I'm going to say Tennessee is going to win this game 41-20, but I want to say even worse than that. But because this defense is going to have to prove it to me, I'm still saying that Tennessee is going to walk out of Pittsburgh 2-0 with a 41-20 beatdown.
I'm with you, man. I've been saying it for months and months and months and months, breaking down this season, expectations, predictions, all that fun stuff. I've been selling Tennessee to win this game for a long, long time. I'm not backing down now. I feel maybe even more confident after watching Pitt play West Virginia. I like this offensive line. I like Gerald Mincey. I think he looked good against Ball State, and I know it's Ball State, but I like that he's long, he's athletic. I like what he brings to that left tackle position. Outside of that, you're returning 4 out of 5 starters. And you brought up a good point earlier, something I've been talking a lot about is player development. If this coaching staff is going to work, you got to be able to develop players. So when you talk about returning 8 starters on offense, when you talk about what you've returned on defense at the linebacker position particularly, you better take a step. You're returning 2 safeties. They're upperclassmen. They better get better. If not, this coaching staff's not going to work because they can't develop talent. And as of now, I trust this coaching staff. I like these players. I think the offensive line keeps Hendon Hooker clean. I'm not saying he won't take a sack. I think he'll make some plays with his legs. I think we're going to see this offense open up the playbook. They're going to attack vertically. We didn't really see that a lot against Ball State. I think we're going to see that. I think Pitt's going to bring pressure, and Josh Heupel's going to have it schemed up to attack this Pitt defense. I'm excited about that. As far as the Pitt defensive line, like I said, I think this Tennessee offensive line holds up. We'll see. We'll see if the defensive line can get pressure. But I just don't think Pitt's offense can keep up in a shootout. They're going to score some points. I'm going to say they score a few more points than you do, but I still like Tennessee by 2 scores. I'm going Tennessee 45, Pitt 34. We get it done 2-0, and we start looking ahead to Florida and talking about how big of a game that is going to be. We're an hour and 10 minutes into this. Who? Wait a second. There's a game in week 3?
In week 3, right?
That must be on the schedule like your name was in those super chats. I didn't
know that.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. You'll have to go back and look at those super chats. Hey, Boogie, right quick. There was some people asking me if when I was going to sing again. We beat Florida. I'll sing. I'll sing, but I may have to do it from my phone because my plan is to go to that game. So if there's anybody out there that has any 2 extra tickets and they want to help Vols JP out, hit me up and let me know what you got, because I'm trying to find 2 that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, because they're pretty expensive. But I'm trying to get tickets for that. Got some folks going and some buddies going, and I'll be there. If it costs me my mortgage payment, I'll be there.
That's a good problem to have. Is when I remember going to games with Snake and we paid an arm and a leg to get in. Speaking of somebody hitting you up, you guys can see the social media handles going across the bottom there. Give JP a follow. You can follow me at Boogie Bentley. You can give JP a follow. I'm waiting up to scroll across because I can't remember. At Vols_JP. You can hit him up if you know where there are some tickets. You can hit him up. But give us all a follow, man. Blow up our social media. I don't tweet a whole lot. Every now and then I'll jump on there and say something stupid and piss some people off and maybe delete it the next day. But mostly it's Tennessee football. It's recruiting stuff. Sometimes a little bit of wrestling. You never know what I'm going to talk about. At Boogie Bentley. At Vols_JP. Wayne Starnes for 5. Thank you for the super chat.
I like Wayne.
He says JP. There's his name, Boogie. Anybody else? I mean, we're about to wrap the show up. Does anybody else want to drop a super chat just for JP? I mean, just for JP. If you guys want to do it, I'll give you one last opportunity to do it, because apparently you guys love JP, but you guys have always loved JP. Look, JP was the founding father of this thing. Me and Dauber had a business meeting today, and it was great. It was a great little meeting. It took all of about 3 text messages. But you got to talk business, man. In this, when you got 14,000 subscribers and things are growing, booming, blowing up, you got to talk business, and it was awesome. But in the process of that, I was talking to my wife about it too, and just how much the channel's changed, and JP and Indie Kid and Snake and Dauber and the rotation and all this stuff. And she was like, it's funny, like you're having these business meetings. She's like, it was JP's idea. Like JP, it was his idea to do this thing. I was doing stupid comic book podcasts and wrestling shows and
wrestling.
I talked with Eric Kane, like when I went on his show, and he was like, tell me about your YouTube journey. And it's like, dude, I failed so many times. And then you brought up, let's do a Tennessee podcast. And I'm like, oh, whatever, we can do it. And it's like, even that has just changed so much. And it still gets called a podcast. And it's not a podcast. It's a YouTube channel. It's the Talkin VAWLS Network. It's a YouTube channel. That's what it is. But, man, I'm so glad that you came to me that day with that idea, because it's blown up into something none of us ever expected, ever. But it's cool because it's real-life people. It's real-life friendships. That's why when people think they know what's going on behind the scenes and that there's drama or Boogie hates the Indie Kid, he's been fired. I've not talked to the Indie Kid in a while, but we've talked multiple times since he's left the channel. Look, people have things going on in life. They rotate on and off. It is what it is. See, I gave him enough time, JP. MD Balls.
I appreciate that.
$5 super chat.
Man.
Another tip for JP. Go Big Orange. This is getting out of hand. I should probably wrap the show. Ronnie Cantrell drops a $50 super sticker. That's not even a super chat. It's a little dancing yellow man that has a green pet in his hands. It doesn't say anything about JP, but I'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I really don't want to let anybody have another opportunity to give JP any more money. So I think I'm going to wrap this stream up
right there. Jarrett Black, he's got a good question. And no, I forgot to mention that, Jarrett. So thanks for asking that. But yes, yes, extremely impressed with Joshua Joseph. I thought he had a pick six. I mean, he was so close. He was so close to that, and he would have been gone. He is the type of kid that you see Georgia and Alabama have. He's got those talents, that quickness, that coaches can't teach. So I'm extremely excited about him. I think that he's going to end up doing some big things for this football team, and I could see him making some plays Saturday. I sure could.
Here's another $20 super chat from Jeff Puckett. Says this is for JP. See the difference though? He said there's not a period there, JP. There's not a period. It says this is for JP starting the channel. Yeah. Into Boogie's wallet is what it says.
I know it. Yeah.
You guys are out of control.
Thanks,
I'm gonna bring JP on every day. We're gonna live stream 7 nights a week. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. We appreciate it, buddy. Look, we're gonna wrap this thing up. You guys are awesome. I love getting on here. I get real life. Sometimes you're tired, you're exhausted. It's real life. You got wife, kids, job, things going on. Every time I get done with a live stream, I'm energized, man. You guys, the love you give this channel, the passion that you have for Tennessee, I love it. I love it. There's nothing better. This is the greatest community for Tennessee athletics. I don't care. I'll name them. VolQuest, bring it on. Eric Kane, love the guy. Bring it on. I challenge everybody. They're not going to create. Josh and Swain. You know, all these people out there are talking about, oh, we're fan interactive. Come on to our channel. You go look in their comment section, and it's full of porn bots. They don't even realize porn bots are in their comments because they don't read the comments. We do read the comments because we value what you guys bring to the table. So appreciate the support that you show us, the love, your passion. We feed off of you guys, and we love it. We're going to wrap this thing up. I'm not going to play the outro music. I'm going to send you guys back out the door because a lot of people didn't see it with that Johnny Majors clip on the way out the door because it's Johnny Majors week, the Johnny Majors Classic. He's Vols JP. My name is Boogie Bentley. See you guys Saturday at 2:30 for the tailgate show. This is the Talkin Vols Network. Go Big Orange.
Win with honor, win with class, win with pride, and win with modesty.
I came to Tennessee by choice, and I certainly did not make a mistake when I came to Tennessee.
It is no good. Tennessee beats Notre Dame 35.
It's a great state, made up of a wide variety of people, from east to the middle to the west.
Tennessee beats Alabama 35-28. Pandemonium reigns. The goalposts are history.
I never regretted becoming a Tennessee volunteer. I look back and nothing will ever replace my early experiences from the first day I came onto campus, which I'll never forget.
I think that the future here, potential, is unlimited. I think it can be better or I wouldn't be here. I also not only believe in selling football, but I believe in selling the University of Tennessee.
Repeat our game next. Number 1. We make mistakes win. Number 2. Play hard, make plays. One comes our way, score. 3. In the first game, great movies, coming up with almost